You are still on the pirate haven planet of Saleh, and you have decided to plan your own raid, and discussed a few possibilities with Ophis the Slith, Book the Beastman, and Antarax the renegade tech priest. Antarax's plan to seek out some sort of ancient tech deep in the heart of the Saleh spaceport Underhive seems like quite a high risk, but the reward could potentially be immense. Book proved himself to be a useful ally, and has a group of fellow Beastmen that he mentioned when he proposed his own job to steal a void ship. You decide to approach these brutes about possibly joining Antarax on his mission, as you could pool your earnings and likely purchase a void ship afterwards.
I still think it's easier to smash and grab one for ourselves, but if that pile of bolts tech priest is offering that much scratch, maybe it's worth it.
You return to Antarax and suggest partnering with the Beastmen.
I was planning on using my combat servitors as bodyguards. Kazazel always keeps me well stocked with organic components. My olfactory sensors cannot abide their stink. But why risk my own creations when the meat is willing? Very well. They may join us in our little expedition.
Antarax hunched over a cogitator and began working away as a holographic projection appears in front of you. He gestures to the maze of corridors and hallways of the Underhive.
There is an old mag lift that I have managed to repair that should be able to take us deep into the Underhive. Once down in the depths, we will follow this path here to an ancient factorum. I have scanned the area, and there is a powerful energy signature within its crumbling walls. There is something still in there. Based on my readings, the power core might still be intact. I have no idea what else could produce these numbers. If we can recover it, the incredible energy it can produce, well, let's just say it would be very helpful for my continued experiments without taxing the grid of the ship.
You're a bit hesitant about this job. This isn't a sure thing. But you've lived your life by taking risks. It was a risk to blindly climb aboard this insane ship to escape prison. It was a risk to take Kazazel's bargain and earn your way out of the pit. It was a risk in the bar with the gangers, and this was just one more risk to continue your climb on board the Obeziana Avtobus. Eventually, you and Antarax meet up with Book and his boys. The 6 other Beastmen were wearing old flat guard armor that had been modified to better suit their shape. You also suspect that some of these altered pieces might even provide a bit more protection, with exotic alloys included. One of the Beastmen was carrying a flamer. Another was carrying something that looked like some kind of heavy Xenos weapon with many barrels. The others were either carrying a las pistol and chainsword, or a heavy auto gun with a bayonet affixed to the end. You thought Book smelled bad, but his compatriots seemed even more uncouth than their leader. The smell of filth and rotten flesh hung over them.
We are here, Metal Man. Lead the way.
You head through the streets of Saleh Spaceport and move towards the industrial district. There were many strange-looking human and Xenos everywhere you looked, but the harsh metal footfalls of Antarax's spider-like body and his retinue of brutal beastmen was a sight to see. There was no avoiding the conspicuous appearance of your group. You keep an eye out for anyone who might try to follow you. Eventually, you reach the warehouses and factorums of the spaceport. Haggard-looking slaves were driven in chain gangs to their work posts. You vowed a long time ago that you weren't just going to be another body to grind up in the gears of the Imperium. Antarax seems to know where he's going, as the crowds thin and you enter a portion of the city that is largely abandoned. The whole place looks like it's been looted. Only the lowest of the low skulk about here. Slaves that were too old or injured to work are just abandoned in this place. digging through the refuse for the least little scraps they can find. You see the occasional pack of feral canids running through the back alleys as well. Anthrax stops before an enormous set of sliding steel doors. The mag lift looks inoperable. No lights or anything indicated that it was in any kind of working order. The tech priest scuttled over to the panel on the wall, and faster than you can imagine, he was removing this panel and manipulating the wires and conduits inside. He chanted as he worked. Eventually, the device complies, and the doors slide open. Anthrax chuckled to himself.
The machine spirit was upset with me. I made repairs to it the last time I was on Saleh. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make the expedition. Simply not enough time. So I disabled it to make sure others didn't make the journey before us. That made the machine spirit cross.
You and the others enter the mag lift. After what feels like a lifetime of being in extreme close contact with the reeking Beastmen, the lift stops. When the doors creak open, you look out into a sea of blackness, punctuated by little specks of light. For a moment, your mind has to reorient itself as you get the feeling of looking out the port of a void ship at the distant stars. Eventually, you leave the relatively bright light of the mag lift, and your eyes slowly adjust to the ghostly lights of the Underhive. You can't see how large this place is, but you can tell it is cavernous as Anthrax's harsh footfalls echo endlessly in the dark. If there's anything down there that has ears, they almost certainly know that you're here. Book looks at Anthrax in disgust as he clatters around, but says nothing.
The path is this way.
Anthrax led the way deeper into the Underhive. After a little while, Book began sniffing the air. You instinctively turn to look around. The air is stale, but you can't smell anything. You think you see movement out of the corner of your eye. You bring up your weapon, along with Beastmen who are now on full alert. Their ears flick as you hear scuffling a little ways away.
Life forms. Humanoid by their biosignatures.
An array of sensors whirred on the tech priest before a powerful light emitted from his ocular sensors, illuminating the cavern. You immediately see several slinking creatures as they scatter into their hiding places, hissing as they scrambled away. They were ghostly pale and hairless. Their eyes were enormous and black. Their pale, thin bodies gave them the appearance of skeletons. Anthrax made a sound of disgust. The Beastmen raised their weapons, preparing to eliminate these creatures. From what you could see, they were very poorly armed, carrying crude weapons fashioned from scrap. Maybe one of them carried an ancient auto-pistol. As the harsh light from the tech priest bathed the skeletal mutants, one of them, who was wearing a bit more clothes than the others, moved forward slowly. The thing held out its hand and gestured, as if it wanted the group to give him something.
Let us kill these things and be done with it. Filthy mutants.
I will kill for many reasons, Metal Man, but too many have said filthy mutant to my kind. If these ones want to fight, I will fight. Otherwise, leave the sad creatures be and move on. They don't even look like they're worth eating.
Once again, it is time for you to shape the narrative. You are the main character, and your choices will forge your destiny. You have come across some strange, rather pathetic-looking denizens of the Underhive, mutants who have lived who knows how many generations in these dark caverns. Do you wish to eliminate them as a threat, as Anthrax is inclined to? Do you follow Book's lead and leave them be unless they force a fight? The leader of these things seems to be trying to communicate with you. Do you try to see what it wants and perhaps negotiate? Your choice is up to you. There will be a poll set up in the community section where you can vote on your own course of action. If you would like to do something else than the offered choices, you may comment below, and popular, well-liked comments can help shape the decisions your character makes. No Man Do They Call Me. My mother and my father, and all my comrades as well. Thank you all for listening to this episode of Kazazel's Merry Marauders, the first Choose Your Own Adventure series on the channel. If you like what you heard, please consider dropping a like and comment below, as it helps with appeasing the mighty algorithm. If you're new to this channel and are confused, please check out Kazazel's playlist to find out what's going on, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. If you would like to support me further, there's a link to my Patreon on my channel and in the description. Thank you all very much. No Man out.